Hey everyone, it's Eugene here, and today what we're going to be talking about is a new software that I sort of discovered, but it's been around for a while, and that is DVI 3D, and this is from Delta V Innovations, and this is a program that I discovered at the Rex conference a few years back in Orlando, and I met the owner, who is Mike Flamm, and at the time, it was still being developed and a lot of new things coming along, so when I looked at it, I said, hey, this is pretty cool. Well, I ran into Mike again just a couple of months ago back in Orlando again at another conference. And this software has really come along. So I'm all about, tools for people and different options and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is just do a very brief intro here. I'm really new at the software, but there's already some little things that I think I can show and just get people interested if they want another option. So the whole purpose of DVI 3D is that it is an agnostic software program that will bring in, 3D models, whether it's point clouds or different types of textured meshes and things like that. And you get to work with it. So you get to geo-reference, it'll surface point clouds or create meshes. You can edit point clouds. There's a number of things that you can do. So let me just go through a couple of things really quickly here. And after, I'm going to get Mike himself to give us a quick demonstration on geo-referencing, because that's something I'm still learning in the software, but since he knows it inside out, why not get him to do it, right? So let's start with creating a new project. And I just hit new or whatever, and I'm just going to use the defaults. I'm going to go create, and then we're going to import. So you can see here, we've got a number of, save and things like that. And it's sort of a tab layout. You got home, you've got models, edit, view, draw, and then measure. And we'll just look at a couple of these different things. So let's start with import. And I already have one available to me. So I got this parking lot, or let me try this genie here. Let's do this genie. So it says the point size, what it should be, and it actually just it does it already in the background, but it asks you for the units and the format of the file. So you can have different kind of coordinates. So, easting and northing and easting, and then the horizontal. I'm just using XYZ coordinates, and I'm going to go ahead and click on import. Okay. Now it says, well, how do you want to place this thing? So if you want to geo-reference, you can do it that way. You can manually do it, or just use the existing coordinates and leave it in its own coordinate space. So that's what I've got over here. And this is it. It's already in here. You can rotate it around. The controls are just left mouse button. You've got the scroll wheel for zooming in and out. And you've got if you hold down the scroll wheel, you can sort of pan around. This is very, very common controls for some different 3D programs, which is great. It's very common, very easy to navigate. And there's not a lot of extra button clicks and things like that. Now, with this right here, let's say, for example, I'm like, well, this is kind of a rough point cloud, and I'm not that crazy about what I'm seeing here. Maybe I want to reorient this somehow, or I want to, delete some of the extraneous points. If we go to the view, we can go to a 2-panel view, and in the 2-panel, you get a top-down view and you get the 3D view that's over here. So I'm kind of looking at this in its local space right now. But let's start with orienting this particular model. When I click on it, you'll see that I've got some properties here and different things. So you got this localization. I'm going to click on localization. And over here, it's got heading, pitch, and roll. So the heading is basically just the compass heading, the direction in which it's pointing. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to move it around. So I can actually align it nice and straight. Let's say this is the way that I want it oriented. In the view, you can see that it's sort of lining up with the grid. Well, great. That's what I want to keep there. And let's say I just close that out. That's perfect. That's what I want. So I'm going to rotate this around. Let me go back to a single panel view. I'm good with that. I like working in a single panel view. Sometimes it's useful to get the double views, but you can see you have a number of different choices here. Left side, you can have all the different views, up to 4 views over here, which is great. Okay, let's do some editing now. And I want to get rid of some of this extraneous data here that's up on this, where the grass is and that sort of thing. So I need to go into edit, I believe. And okay, a couple of things here. It's got scale, offset, rotate, default. So as I hover over this, you see I've got these controllers here. So this allows me to move the model. Like I can click and drag and move. I can rotate the model. Now I've already adjusted it, so I don't want to mess with it. But the scale one is something I want to shut off. So I click on it and I shut it off because I don't want to rescale this point cloud. It's already scaled. It's got units. And so I don't want to mess with it. So I can shut that off. And you can turn these off and on as you like. including the translate and rotate and stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave that as is, but I am going to go over to the erase. So if I click on erase, I have some choices here. I got rectangle and polygon, and these two are how I make my selection. So if I want to do rectangle, I'm just going to click and drag. And let's say I want to, delete everything up to the curb, or maybe just this little chunk right here. And you see it has these little specks, these little dots. That means it's selected. And I'm going to delete what is inside, and I'm just going to click enter. Okay, I'm clicking enter, and there it goes. It goes bye-bye, disappears. Let's do it again. And I'm going to do it on this side. So let's say I want to get just to behind the this lift. I got this selected. I'm going to hit enter again. That gets gone. And one more time. I do the other two sides too. So I'll keep the rectangle tool. Selecting like that, enter, and then finally the last one, which is just down here. So clicking and dragging like that. I'm going to hit enter, and there it is. That's my model. Now it's all cleaned up. Oh, I can see I got a floater here. I don't like floaters, so let's get rid of this floater. I'm going to erase, click and drag, got inside, hit enter, and that's it. It's gone. Fantastic. So there's some other things you can do, like surfacing and measuring. So there's like some measuring tools. So if I just click on the distance, I click and I can click, and you can see I've got my units here. I'll hit enter. You can adjust some things here, like the line thickness, right? Some bias having to do with the arrows and that sort of thing. Okay. So there's that. There's cross section. There's angles. So if I click 3 points on the ground, 1, 2, and maybe 3, then you can see that I've got an angle here. So that's good too. And you can adjust its properties as well. So lots of stuff that we can do here. And I know there's a ton of stuff more. There's some drawing tools here. If you want to create, maybe some 2D drawings, you've got some primitives here to draw as well. But I'm really new at the software, so I'm not the best person to be given a full-blown tutorial. And so what I'm going to do is let's switch over to get Mike over here, and he'll be able to show us some of the more fancier things that you can do in DVI 3D. Hey, Mike. So I have been messing around with DVI 3D a little bit. I did a couple of little intro things, but I am by no means an expert. And so I'm going to come back to you here. Give me just, if you can give me just a little bit of like background on DVI and how it started just quickly. And then I'd like you to show me maybe something like, I don't know if you can show me geo-referencing or maybe surfacing or something like that. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. DVI 3D was started, Delta V Innovations was started as a project, being active duty law enforcement, recognizing that what I think the 3D diagramming world needs was a different diagramming solution. It's much more simplistic. It is more intuitive, gives still quite a few strong features that the investigative community is asking for without being part of one of the large box companies demanding the CAD solutions. We're seeing a lot of the younger investigators aren't wanting the CAD solutions, so we're staying away from that. But at the same time, we consider ourselves to be data agnostic. So it doesn't matter to me whether you're using a ruler or a wheel and a paper and pencil, or if you have a scanner or a total station, or even using Recon 3D. We can bring your data in, we can work with it, or we can take measurements from it, and we can create a presentation that you need for whether it be court, whether it be presentation purposes. But ultimately it came from years of law enforcement, working in the field, and trying to create a better product for the investigators out in the field.
Okay, well, we met up at the Rex conference first. That was in, 3 years ago now or something?
3 years ago.
Yeah. And we just recently met up at the IPTM. So I noticed there was a significant difference in the software, like a whole bunch of new things, new features and that sort of thing. So it's great to see that kind of development. So can you share your screen and maybe just show us just one or two things quickly?
What we're seeing here is it's DVI 3D. This is the main homepage. We have very simple tabs across the top. Our import function is a very simplistic. And in this case, we're going to go ahead and do a import of one of your files. We'll bring in this yard file, bring it in. We set the units of measure, import it, use file coordinates. I want to come up here, make sure our projection is still correct, which it is. And in this case, what we want to do is we want to geo-reference this. This data set has no GPS data attached to it, but in this case, you did shoot a couple ground control points down at the ground here.
Yeah.
By going to our CSV importer, we come over here. These are the data that you shot, data points that you shot. So we're just going to add the ground control points here. Just label them. We do have the easting, northing elevation set up with the point numbers. By closing this out, we're just going to bring it right into this data set over here on the right. And here it is. And what we're going to do is highlight it. We're going to geo-reference, and we have coded at the top. We have, this is the geo-reference data. This is the data we want to add geo-reference to. And we're just going to do a point registration. I'll come in here, grab point number 1 to right here. We recognize that this here is point number 1. Do the same thing with point number 2, located down here. We have point number 2 up here. And then finally, we have point 3 over here on the right. And then this is point 3 here. And then we have all the data listed over to the right. So if you want to make a correction, we could delete one of them and make a quick correction. But we're going to accept it. It's going to come on into the new scene here. We're going to go to the top view. And we have our data here that has been geo-referenced. And if I go to our locate, under measure locate, we can see the easting, northing, and elevation data right here in the scene. So we've actually added the geo-reference data that we can extrapolate from your scan using your 3 ground control points.
That is cool.
In addition, if we wanted to add Google Earth, we can come over here, we could add the ground. We can choose it in Google Maps here. And this here is the area which I'm guessing is where you did your scan in the backyard.
Yep.
By simply selecting this, we can come in and we can overlay this by the elevation, which is going to take a second to import all the elevation data. But we can overlay this right into Google Earth very quickly, and this can be done with any data. So if we have a user that's out using a pencil and paper, they're taking hand measurements, they're using just a coordinate data set, they can do that. Then at a later time, they get a GPS and they go get 2 or 3 points that they can locate, again, ground control points. We can merge this data and very quickly bring this in to Google Earth, overlay it with elevation. And actually still use the measured data to expand your scene. So whether it's a coordinate measure, you're using total station, you're using a scanner, or you're using Recon 3D. All of this data can be geo-referenced, brought in very quickly. And in this case, we're going to see this come in. There is going to be a little difference in elevation here. But the reason we got a little difference in elevation is this is the geoid that we're using here. We can see there it is. We can see our data is down low because we got the wrong geoid, but that's all right because I can take this data and we can adjust the elevation and we can make that against -0.41. And we can take this and drop this down and we can see that drops in there. And we can also set the rotation as well. And we can drop this right into Google Earth.
Very
and that
cool.
comes in with the elevation as well.
Yeah. What I love about this is just, I'm thinking about, practical scenarios, but let's say you have just like a mass disaster scene with something small like the app. You could scan small areas, just use a GNSS, like maybe like the MLID or a Trimble or whatever. And, you can document, you get the efficiencies of each of these instruments. So quick scan, quick mapping with the GNSS, and then you can bring it all together, even though they're completely broken apart or they could be separated by hundreds of feet or whatever it might be. So yeah, very, very cool idea here. I love it.
Absolutely. In addition, you can have people using a total station, multiple different systems going at the same time. So if you have one person scanning, one person using, we like the Carlson BRX7 GPS unit, but we'll take any GPS data you have. Or if you have a total station or a scanner, whether you're using your Faro, Leica scanner, whatever it happens to be, we can bring all these data sets in and merge them together and geo-reference them, and the user gets to pick which coordinate system they want to use. So if they just want to keep it on a local coordinate system, they can do that. Or if they have GPS data, GNSS data, they're more than welcome to pick they want to use that coordinate system and stick with it. But all of this can be dropped into Google Earth very quickly, very easily. We do hold the scale and it does a real nice job with finished product, including going as far as, like I said, if we want to do a measure, we can do our distance, angles, we can annotate it, but we can also do our data here geo-referenced. So we are still geo-referencing it.
Hey, Mike, so where can people go to find out more? Where can they try the software? Where can they reach out to you or whatever? I don't know if you can bring up your website or something like that, but
Certainly.
I think it's important if people want to find out more. I mean, I think this is a great option. I know that there's a lot of times there's other software that come with, laser scanner manufacturers have their own data and stuff like that. But like you said, this is agnostic. You can use it with hand measurements. You could use it with laser scanner, photogrammetry, whatever. So, I think what we'll do is we might have to bring up the website here and give them a look.
So we can go to our website, www.deltavinnovationsinc.com. And we can go to downloads, and you can download a trial of DVI 3D. We also have our new product release, which is our DVI Forensics for our forensics users, which allows to create 2D, 3D diagrams of inside of a room, which can be brought into DVI 3D for diagramming as well. And merging with larger outdoor scenes. And we're getting ready to release our DVI Calcs, which is our calculation software, which will work right inside DVI 3D as well for both crime scene and crash scene users. So we have a number of products that are on the line coming out soon. And then DVI 3D is our main diagramming program.
So is that the strategy? Like DVI 3D is going to be sort of like the main program, and then you're going to create other like little apps and programs that will feed into DVI 3D?
That is correct. We also have our OWL, which is our online work link, which is a great way of sharing your data with anyone. And the user gets to choose the levels of permission that you share the data, who you share the data with. So if you want to share your data with somebody that does not have DVI 3D, you can give them complete control. And by them opening it up through their email, they will have an online working version of DVI 3 on their computer. Or you can send it as a read-only option. That's new product just released, but it's fantastic for sharing data. It is all encrypted, and it can be on your server, or we can host it on ours, in which you would just have to pay for the storage space.
Amazing.
But great opportunity.
Excellent. Well, Mike, look, thanks a lot. I like I said, I think you guys are doing a great job on the software, good innovation, and great development and everything else. So keep up the great work. And hey, thanks so much for showing us what you got.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.